All right, we're back. Just walking and talking. Walking and talking. So, a really important nugget of gold that I've found is our higher selves are with us all the time. Watching, sitting back, guiding our ways in different types of scenarios. There's constant communication. It's just that we're not really told what this communication is. It really has to do with how we feel. Did you say something and really feel bad after you said it? Simple. It's your higher self just saying, hey, I don't really agree. Most of the time, it's when you say something, feeling something bad about yourself. And this is where depression can come in. Your higher self will just keep pressing the I don't agree with you button all the time. It'll keep saying, hey, I know you think badly of yourself, but I don't agree. I think very highly of you. But it's the opposite's true. When you have a thought that makes you feel really good, your higher self is like, yeah, I like that too. I agree with that. So it's like, wow, I have this all-powerful higher self that's with me all the time. And all I have to do is just listen to how I feel. It's that simple. No way, no, it can't be. There's something to this. Pay attention to how you feel. Especially after you think something or you say something. Just listen, just feel. How do I feel about that? Was that thought I had about myself, did it have a good feeling to it? Did it have a bad feeling to it? Do I feel like I shouldn't have said it, or I should have? Am I proud of what I said? Do I feel good? It's so simple, it's almost too much to pass over. That's why it's overlooked by a lot of people, I believe. But just that alone will guide you. It'll guide you to start making the right choices, the right thoughts, the right things to say, the things to do. You don't have to worry as much of are you on the right path or not. Your joy and your happiness, all these things are connected. Your doubt and your fears. They don't always feel good. Recognizing this is important, very important. If you find yourself in a situation where it's very tough to feel good at all, it's very tough to feel good. Very, very, very tough. You're in a state of thought vibration where your higher self doesn't really agree with much of what you're thinking and saying. It's not going to lie to you and say, okay, here's a good feeling, even though you're talking bad about yourself. Here you go, just because you need to feel good. They'll say, I'll just keep on giving you the message, giving you that little hint. And it can be anything. It could be something that you don't even think is relevant. It just made you feel good. Really good. And you can start experiencing it as a communication, as a relationship. A teacher in a sense. You don't have to go outside, find out what thought should I be thinking? What ideas should I be doing? What things should I be saying? Just do what you do and see how your message system comes back. Did that feel good? Did it feel good to say that or think that? I think we tend to not want to listen to ourselves. We want to listen to others, see what they have to say about it. So this idea of discernment, building your own paradigm comes in. Like I said before, there's no one way of looking at things. What feels the best? What really gets you excited? And have you tried anything else? Did you try to think another way about it? Or have you just stopped where? At the first one. Think about this a lot. I think about what I think is important to tell people. Oh, and I can bring up all the drama, the political arena, the world issues, and say those are the problems. Those are the surface level dramas coming out. There's a deeper story going on. We're being given the I don't know, let's say the surface level story, and there's an ocean beneath. Sometimes you can dunk your head below, but it's pretty deep and dark. I sometimes question if whether I even want to know or be a part of the bigger picture. Knowing where you want to place your level of importance. And what I mean by that is, what do you think is important? Do you believe that your personal progress in life, your children, your family are important? Do you believe the nation's security and your duty to protect is important? Do you believe searching for other life on other planets and finding other civilizations and being a part of a new galactic civilization is important? Some would say, oh, this was more important than that. That's more important than this. There's no way your little story and your drama is important compared to this. To me, it's a matter of perspective. People living simple lives who don't have to deal with complicated realities of what's actually going on. That makes so much sense to me that you wouldn't, that's irrelevant to you. But in the same way, we're all becoming more and more connected, physically and in other ways. You'd have to really try to bury yourself in a hole somewhere to make it so that only your story matters and that you're not part of a bigger story. What your role in that story is, I think there may be this need for everybody to jump up. I have to be the new hero of the story now. Because I know the level of importance. I know this is important. There's going to be a deeper level. There's going to be a higher level that makes your level of importance seem non-important. Like you don't have the big picture. You don't know what's at stake here. You don't know how deep this goes. You think you know what's important. It goes on and on, probably, most likely. To where a certain point is like, what am I going to focus my time and attention on? Is it the Democrats and Republicans that's the importance? We need to win back the do. Because that's what the world is about. No, that's a real level that exists. Others would say, no, it's the worldwide bankers, banksters, and the royal families and the big people who control wealth. Taking them down, that's the big story. That's the level of importance. That's the level of importance. What was that? So, the level of importance is really up to you. But it's kind of hard to stay unaware. I kind of feel like a lot of people know what's really going on in the world. A lot of people do. But they realize that throwing the truth out would be devastating. Talking about bringing a whole nother level of the story that people aren't even considering. So things are done in the old-fashioned way of giving you little hints, little tidbits that something's happening over here. It's just a little news story, but it could be a big deal. It was just a little news story in the news, but a huge victory has been won for this side of this big story. We don't have the proper context as the normal human population to really understand the scope of what's going on Earth. How more of who and what the human race really is, what it's used as, meaning as a vessel, as more of like a universal vessel, and the purpose of coming to Earth and being a human. Some people may think that living a simple life, oh, you don't know what's really going on. You're just living a simple life. A lot of people came here to have a simple life. In fact, you'd be surprised that what we go through in life is really one of the highest levels of learning, evolution. It doesn't seem that way. We're told we're just these bodies, whether you believe in a soul or not. It's more of the fact that I have this sense of I exist. I'm here. That can't be removed, no matter what I feel and believe or what I can just go along with a idea that this is all just a random accident. It's all just a random accident. Not very likely. We have much longer pasts, if you want to call that, in the scope of time. Past, future doesn't really exist in a sense, or doesn't make that much sense. You have to think non-linearly to kind of grasp the concept of simultaneous futures, pasts, alternate realities exists in one moment. and it's your consciousness that kind of chooses. In a way, you are locked into a timeline. Doesn't mean you can't be in another. In fact, you're choosing your timeline all the time. You're choosing your reality as you as you walk every moment. It makes me wonder so much, wow, what is my consciousness actually doing? If I take these quantum physics theories seriously, that means the observer, aka me, is actually collapsing the wave function, if that means anything. It means everything's in flux until you experience it. Or there's this massive amount of choice, and now one choice has been chosen every moment. You hear everything's connected. Even me, I don't truly connect all the dots. I don't have enough paradigms for it and create more. I think there's been a level of information in which I kind of think I'm ready for. It would help me understand things better. I think I'm mature enough to have this information because I know it's there. I know there's something that I just haven't been told, and maybe I can come up with it myself. Maybe I'm learning my own lessons just by talking. If you ask how I come up with this stuff, I do a lot of learning, listening, but I do a lot of thinking also. So this is what I'm doing. I'm just doing what I do out loud. Instead of walking down the street and thinking this to myself, I'm just saying it. Why keep it to myself? What if somebody wants to hear this? I don't know. I'm just rehashing thoughts that I've had in the past. Most of these are not new, just coming up now. Oh, I just thought of it now. I've had a lot of time to contemplate different ideas. It's interesting how I have to kind of balance my 3D life with more of a, how do I put it, consciousness-based focus, I guess I can say. Maintaining a high vibration is really a smart move, I would say. For me, I would say, oh, it's important. I say it's a smart move. Get your vibration to a certain state and then start doing things. You'll find things flow easier. It's more clarity. It's easy just to say that to somebody though. I realize that. Hey, just raise your vibration, man. Hey, why aren't you doing that? Hey, easier said than done, right? Well, that kind of attitude doesn't help in the beginning, but I feel you. Makes sense to me. Something great's gonna happen or happened, doesn't really matter. I want to be a part of the world, but it's like I always didn't feel like it wanted me. Maybe I need to change my ideas and my thoughts. Is it that I have to constantly tell myself of how I want reality to be and stop looking out and letting it tell me what it is? Or do I take advice from what I see and judge things for how they look? Do I really know what's going on? Yeah, you see, I question my own paradigms too. Is there another way of looking at this that I can come to a better conclusion and focus? These are all good questions. These are all good questions. I think everybody wants a solid paradigm. They want something that they can build their faith upon, that can solidify itself every day. So I am unwavering in my thoughts and my beliefs. No one can change my sense of truth. And that's like I said before, it's a very powerful thing. Until new information comes and it doesn't fit. I mean, your faith got you this far. What if there's another level? Another super level of it? I think a dynamic paradigm, one that's flexible, one that's able to not only see others' perspectives, but able to be rebuilt quickly based on new ways, thinking, ideas. I don't really hear people talking about having paradigms. Maybe I'm using them in a custom way. To me, I think it's a survival necessity. I think we have mental institutions that people experience that they can't explain to others. No one will probably believe them. And they have no way of coping with their experience. So they may go crazy. They can't build a paradigm based off of what they've experienced. They can't understand. Paranoia, schizophrenia starts to kick in. All these things are treated with medications, which just seem to numb or dull the symptoms. I think people who experience these types of things are special in a certain way. They have innate abilities of seeing more than what is commonly known to be seen. We don't offer any type of alternative methods to let people be okay with perhaps different radical ways of thinking about this reality. Sometimes these ways of thinking might be detrimental, some might be beneficial. But to pound in somebody's head that they're seeing things and they're crazy, we need to lock this person up because they don't know what they're talking about, they cannot be allowed. They just need to be given another way of thinking about it. They need to be given some way of coping, handling their experience, because it's not fake. The people don't have issues. And if they do, there's many different forms of therapy, psychiatry, even some medicines, herbs even as well. I'm not saying pharmaceuticals are out of the picture. It's just become the standard of treating things that need a totally different diagnosis. People really have to sense and see that there's something right with how just established science, religions, all kind of don't look what's right in front of them. They don't see the experiences people have and the things that happen. And add that to the equation and understand it. Science is one of the most hardened paradigms. It's way harder to get somebody to change the way they think about something in science because it's established. It's not much different than any other belief or religion. And there are those, we call them on the fringe, I guess, who want to investigate different phenomena that people are experiencing. They say are real. There's testimonies. We can't really ignore it if everybody's talking about the same thing. If anybody's noticed that, why are certain things just swept under the rug, just ignored? We call ourselves intelligent, investigative people who want to get down to what's really going on. Why does there seem to be some need to not figure out what's really going on? It's a interesting thing. A lot of things are connected. I think what we call spirituality is just science on a higher level. There's some scientific anatomy to it, I guess I would say. We're starting to learn more about DNA and what our genetics really are. I don't think we're really ever told about our true physiology and how it extends into other densities, I guess I would say. Densities. What that might mean is there's other forms of physicality. You wouldn't really call it physicality here. It can't be measured in our traditional instrumentation way. I'm sure there's some device that can do it. We're left like half blinded when it comes to our discoveries and possible, because we're only allowing ourselves to see what's makes sense, what fits into our paradigm right now. Doesn't mean you have to move to another way of thinking. Doesn't mean you have to drop your old thoughts, your old beliefs. But it does have to do with you acknowledging maybe there's another way of explaining all of this. Maybe, just maybe. So many possibilities. Well, I think I have to charge my battery, so I'll see you next time on Walker Talker.